There is nothing more humbling than being a black girl in Atlanta. The upkeep alone has to be over $2,000. I was at work today and I work at a cafe in Midtown, and the amount of Spelman girls that come in, when I'm telling you Marc Jacobs tote on deck, Telfar bag on deck, fresh French tip nails, it is insane the amount of black wealth that there is in Atlanta. As somebody who's been living here for so long, Buckhead and Midtown is insane. In Atlanta, it is completely normal for an 18-year-old to have a high rise that is $4,000 in rent, a puppy, a Mercedes-Benz SUV. And that's just normal here. I can't lie, it is honestly so motivating, guys. Today I was taking out the trash on my job and I saw these two Spelman girls, and let me tell you, they just looked so put together. They were typing away at their laptop. I just think it's so unique to be in such a place that is so motivating. Before everyone's like, but Houston, but Kansas, but no. There is nothing like being a black person in Atlanta. It honestly doesn't matter who you are, because Atlanta is just that girl, no matter who you are. So every single black person who has wealth scams or is in the entertainment industry. Not like black lawyers exist, black doctors, black attorneys, black nurses, black business owners. Like, don't get me wrong, I get scamming as a thing in Atlanta like it is in any other city. But why, as black people, do we always have to discredit black people having success and seeing wealth? And you're right, material goods do not justify someone for being wealthy, like a bag per se. But when white women have or do these same things, nobody is policing them and saying that they should not buy a bag and should buy assets instead. When a white woman walks out of the store with her Lululemon, nobody's asking her, well, what kind of real estate do you own? Why, as black people, are we our biggest enemies when we see success and wealth within our own communities? I posted this uplifting video to talk about Atlanta and black success in Atlanta, which is generational if you actually look at the history behind it. And here, behold, people are like, people sell other stuff and do other things to get the money. And honestly, I'm not going to discredit anybody's source of income, but why is it so hard for people to rationalize that actual wealthy black people exist and reside in the city? It is honestly so sad and disheartening that people always try to tear people down within the community. Anytime black people seek success, it is always other black people trying to discredit them. Now, if I was going to make a video about scammers, I would have made a video about scammers. This was about genuine black wealth in Atlanta. There is nothing more humbling than being a black girl in Atlanta. The upkeep.
Y'all gotta stop caring. I'm sorry, I have to say it. So I'm from Atlanta. I was raised here. And just for context, I'm 25 years old. Yes, I do understand the sentiment of what she's saying. Yes, Atlanta is home to a lot of wealthy, well-to-do black people. However, I think it's important to keep in mind that Atlanta is a really small city. And I guess depending on where you're from, it could feel big. But compared to other major cities, Atlanta, the actual city limits of Atlanta are small. And for such a small city, Atlanta is densely populated with influencers or, like I said, wealthy black people. So it kind of creates like a disorienting experience where it feels like you're scrolling on Instagram in real life. I say this all the time. That's partly why people say Atlanta is not a real place. Growing up, I always heard my mom say, she's from New York, that Atlanta is like a play city. It's a make-believe city. She was saying that for other reasons, like our transit system sucks and, you know, we don't have real nightlife and street food. You know, she's a New Yorker. But I want to bring y'all back to reality really quickly. Atlanta is also the home of fake it till you make it, okay? And a lot of these people will fake it forever. What I mean by that is a lot of people that you see driving the G-Wagon, driving the Mercedes, the Porsche, whatever, girls are doing fraud. The girls are doing fraud, and it's okay, but that is reality. And if it's not fraud, a lot of the times it's just it's credit. It's people really trying to keep up with the Joneses, and a lot of times you don't realize that some of these people are really broke until, perfect example, Kim Zolciak. She's not black, but she was known for being like Atlanta royalty. She was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta from the OG days, and now she is like popper status, like being sued by Target because she can't pay her credit bill. So try not to internalize it too much and don't be a hater, but just live in reality. If y'all think it's hard now, I went to North Atlanta High School. I graduated class of 2017. I graduated with Regina A. Carter. Just had to name drop to give you guys context. I say all that to say my school was like famous for having a lot of famous people's kids, a lot of athletes' kids. And I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up middle class. I was definitely poor to working class. And it was hard, but you get to a point where it's just like, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Just be you. And if you are striving to be, or to appear well put together by these wealthy black people's standards, that's fine, but you can do it on a budget. These lashes, I do them myself. $10. This jewelry, Target. I think that at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to the way you view yourself, because that's the only thing that's gonna stop you from being intimidated or, just feel some type of way about how somebody else appears.